and he would be speaker 2, but we can confirm with the team on.
We are live.
A very good evening to fellow members and dear guests. I, Sandeep Kumar, Sergeant at Arms of Professional Speakers, welcome you to 158th meeting of professional speakers, where eloquence meets impact. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Hope all of you had a good weekend and still you are enjoying a small time period which is remaining left for the good relationship between the brother and sister, that is Raksha Bandhan. I will not say much because we have a presiding officer to commence the meeting. Our presiding officer Nisha Gupta is known for being the quiet one yet inquisitive with a lot of questions. Others better brace themselves. She has moved from developing tech products to developing human capital. Currently, she works with the NGO Barefoot College International as a trainer empowering rural educators. She has rejoined the Toastmaster community after her CCLB experience and aspires to become a strong storyteller and community enabler. You can find her practicing still mind of mind, movement of body, oneness with nature, or just hopping around looking for food. If not busy lucid dreaming in her sleep, ask her about living in rural spaces after moving around 6 cities. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Nisha Gupta on virtual stage. Nisha Gupta, stage is yours.
Thank you, Sergeant at Arms Sandeep Kumar. Good evening, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. And welcome to Professional Speakers meeting number 158. I welcome all the members over here and especially the guests. And I can see that we have guests Sasmita, Rama, and Umar, which are Toastmasters and guests from different areas. And definitely they have come to professional speakers for an enriching experience in the journey of communication and leadership. Today, India and many parts of India celebrate the festival of Raksha Bandhan. Raksha Bandhan has its significance as a festival in which celebrates the strength and bond between brothers and sisters. I believe I'm not a strong believer in festivals, but I'm a strong believer in the values that festivals have. I believe that this kind of value of the bond between brothers and sisters should not be limited to them, but it's a bond that we all enrich in different modes. Today, I tie a bond to, I tie a thread on my dad's arm, on my father's arm, to signify the kind of relationship and the kind of strength that we give to each other, because my brother is far away. And I'm sure many of us would be celebrating that. Here we are to strengthen our bond as professional speakers, supporting each other and believing in the values of Toastmasters International, service, excellence, and integrity. I believe in that. So I welcome you all to the meeting. And from here, our Toastmaster of the meeting, or Toastmaster of the day, would take over. But before that, we have a very special segment at the meeting, which is the business segment. The business segment at Professional Speakers is one where all our members share their journey towards professional speaking with very specific goals. These are short-term goals that all members have put together. In this In the professional speaking journey, where eloquence meets impact, all our members are working towards certain kind of goals, which are split into long-term, medium-term, and short-term goals. So I request all the members to speak and share an update from the last week on how they're doing on their short-term goals. Sorry.
Toastmaster Nisha, I would recommend that you refresh this page just so that last minute updates can be included.
All right. So we are starting with me. Good evening, everyone. My short-term goal for the month of August has been to continue reading a book 20 pages per day, at least 6 days a week. And the output I want to achieve from this is building on my speaking and writing content. And my writing content is not only going to help me in Toastmasters, but also in my professional career. As of this week, I have not done it very regularly because of other commitments. But I hope to resume this from the next week onwards and provide a more concrete update. Distinguished Toastmaster Hani Khanducha. I'm sorry, can you do an audio video check from you?
Am I audible now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Sorry about this. I was just checking different video filters and I'm just going to remove this. Cool. So, hi, I'm Hani Khanduja. I have a short-term goal to complete 2 levels in humor, engaging humor and effective coaching, writing and blogging my post speech and collecting all the videos from past, and 0D for time limits. Okay, so unfortunately, none of these 5 were in action. In the last meeting, I could not maintain the 0D for time limit. So I'll be doing it as a timer now, and I'll start working on my speeches for the pathway, that is engaging humor. So I need to get back on track. Over to you, Madam Presiding Officer.
Thank you. Toastmaster Jolly Sharma.
Yeah, hello everyone. So my short-term goals are to read 1 article per day, which I am doing very slow and I'm not doing it since past 1 week, but I hope to resume it from next week onwards. And then writing the second professional blog. This is something I am planning before August ends, and improving my evaluation skills and using zero crutch words in 2 minutes speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jolly. Distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur.
Good evening, everyone. I am making video of self. All I am doing is getting a topic from one of the websites and I start speaking the moment I see the video, and the videos goes for around 6 minutes every day. My goal is to become natural in front of the camera and in front of the stage. I have a target to complete it for 100 days continuously, and I have reached 89 days till yesterday. And I need a good mentor, an active mentor, so that that mentor can help me reach my destination. Thank you.
Thank you. Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Raj Mehta. My short-term goals are 3. Number 1, to make 1 or 2 videos of 5 minutes. This week I could not make any video. And second is to write 5,000 words in stories or novel. I would write around 2,000 words only. And third is to read minimum 2 pages. I was able to read more than 2 pages up till Wednesday. but after that I could not because I have been traveling to Ambala, since Friday. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your progress. Distinguished Toastmaster Roli Sinha.
Thank you. I have a single goal, which is for 0 defect for time limits. And by my most recent occurrence, I actually exceeded the specified time limit by 10 seconds. I just hope to do better next time. Thank you.
All the best on your journey. Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Going back to the drawing board, I'm trying to deliver 20 speeches from the leadership development path by September 30, 2021. And currently I've completed 12 by 20 speeches. Thank you.
Thank you for that update. Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar.
Hello once again. I have 3 SMART goals. One is to complete pathways level 2 by 30th of September. Second, to reduce filler sounds to 0. And third, to improve vocal writing through reading half an hour daily. From last 2 weeks, I have completed half of the book that is Think and Grow Rich. And I hope I will cover the rest of the goals in the coming week. Over to you, Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Sandeep. I believe, is Toastmaster Sonika in the room? All right. With that, we end the business segment, the unique segment that we have at Professional Speakers. Today, the theme is about coming straight to the point. Sometimes I feel that I am not shooting my arrow straight to the point, but there is someone who is going to help us in doing that in multiple aspects, and telling us how they believe in coming straight to the point. And this person is the freshest face at Professional Speakers. Toastmaster Seema Gupta. She's a Toastmaster since 2018, and she has been the past club secretary at Toastmaster Club of Dwarka. I am very glad to say that this is her first official meeting as a member at Professional Speakers, and she is going to chair the meeting as a Toastmaster of the day. She is a personality development mentor. She aims to improve her public speaking and communication skills, and she believes in dedication, commitment, and sincerity. I welcome Toastmaster Seema Gupta to the stage, and from here, she will take the meeting onwards. So Toastmaster Seema Gupta, straight to the point, Toastmaster Seema Gupta.
Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. Well, I would like to ask from every one of you, have you ever been unable to manage your time? Have you ever wondered where your time is going? Have you ever thought, or have you ever unable to to manage or tap your time? Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests. Allow your Toastmaster of the day to take you all on the journey straight to the point. Yes, life is a roller coaster ride. It has its ups and downs. It takes us to the places, whether it's professional or personal. What is the one thing which is common? That is every day. We all get 24 hours, isn't it? But what makes different? Everyone has got the 24 hours. Only few are able to excel. Yes, that's the time management. Well, I have been a flamboyant person, fully committed and devoted to my own profession. And recently I have started with something called online sessions along with some speaking sessions of my students. And you know what? Entire day of mine goes like that. I myself not able to understand what's going wrong. Then one fine day I received a call from our amazing professional officers. She asked me, why don't you go for this role? I said, okay. Then I realized, this girl made me realize the importance of time management. Time and tide wait for none. It is that bird which flies once, never comes back. It happens. That is how life is. Well, as someone has stated, everything comes with solution also. And here I'm surrounded with all the dignitaries, scholars, connoisseurs, who I'm sure are aware of how to manage the time. However, I also have a one technique, and let me see whether you all know it or not. But before that, let me introduce the structure of our meeting. Well, our meeting is divided into, particularly for today, in 5 segments. We are different, no? So our first segment is, which has already been conducted by our Sergeant at Arms. It was opening segment. And now the second, which I'm going to tell you about, that is prepared section speech or segment. Here, speakers will be coming one after the another. They will be delivering their respective planned speeches one after the another. And you will learn a lot of quality knowledge. Number 3, table topic section, where our table topic master will come on the stage and glue you all with your all impromptu skills. Yes, you will get the opportunity to perform then and there and come out of your cocoon. On number 4, we all are going to have our very important segment, that is general evaluation. We all know it's all about feedback differentiates, and the champion always, they are hungry for feedback, quality feedback. And then last but not the least, we'll be having our closing segment, where we'll be having our closing remarks by our eminent members we are having here. So with this, without further ado, I'm going to call on the stage a man whom I have recently met, got thrilled. He is a chartered accountant by profession and an entrepreneur by profession. He loves to explore and believes when one starts paying attention to something very important and starts doing, then he or she automatically comes to know what he or she is doing, which is urgent right now. So with this, let me call first speaker. But before that, let me introduce the title of his speech as well as the level. Yes, the person is none other than Mukesh Thakur. His title of the speech is A Universal Language, and the level is number 3, Understanding Vocal Variety from Visionary Communication, part and timer. Please note the speech is going to be for 7 minutes. And with this, let's all get ready to get ourselves enriched by eminent speaker and a rock star in my eyes, Mukesh Thakur, A Universal Language. A Universal Language, TM Mukesh Thakur. Over to you.
This world is a curious place. Every 50 kilometers, you will find that there are changes in language. Everyone is speaking in a different language. Still, Paulo Coelho once said, there is one universal language that is known by all of us. Do you know which one is that language? This language is
Body language.
This language is Juba Kesari. Ajay Devgan speaks it, and now even Shah Rukh Khan has joined of speaking Juba Kesari. And Ajay Devgan always forgets about this. मैं तो भूल ही गया था. I had always forgotten about this. Despite this fact that there is a common language, if you have been watching the news lately, you must have been seen one of the country has forcefully invaded another country and take the entire control on that country. The history is full of such stories. I was wondering, why does that happen? A few days ago, I heard a speech from one of the prime minister of a country where they were quoting If we are learning a foreign language, that means we are acknowledging that they are better than us, and we are leading to a mental slavery, which is worse than the physical slavery. Now I kept thinking and thinking of why these are happening. What is the reason people want to take over other people? Some of us take birth and feel pride of the place where we take birth, the language that is given to us, the religion that we have been assigned to. Tell me one thing, we don't choose our place of birth, right? It is just what happens to us. Everyone is thus putting their entire stakes to promote the place where they have taken birth. Had there been a slight change in the circumstances in the world, we might have taken birth at a totally in a different place. And thus, everyone might be fighting for the opposite for what they are fighting right now. Agreed? We do not want to know if what we are doing is right, or what others are doing is right or wrong. All we want is that what we are doing should be followed by the rest of the world by hook or crook. Sometimes some of us resort to most inhuman way. We even kill other people pretending to save the humanity. When we look at the core principles of any of the millions of religions that we have on this earth, you will find that each one of them had tried to guide people to adopt a certain way of living, a way which is harmonious, which is stopping people to do bad things, helping the world become a better place of living, a way to save the earth from doing unnatural things. When each of the religions wants to make the rest of the religion follow them, and each one of them can go to any extent, if they are not doing it, we are not helping the core principles of any of the religions that we have. We cannot save the world by destroying them, right? This world has seen enough wars. We have lost billions of our human lives, proving ourselves better than the rest of them. Are we making any sense by living on this planet Earth? Being a human, we are more intelligent and smarter than any other creature on this planet. We should be contributing better than any other creature in the ecosystem of the planet Earth and make it a better place of living, because we are intelligent, we are better than the rest of the creature, we are smart. Are we doing the opposite to it? All we do is to earn for living. We take birth, we earn, we live, we reproduce and die. Tell me one thing, the rest of the creatures are doing the same thing. We are not doing anything different than the rest of the people. While they are, by doing so, supporting the ecosystem, we are harming the earth just by living on it. There is only one universal language, and it is about making our lives on this earth senseful. If we are aware about it, we know the language. If we don't know, if we don't understand this language, we just keep learning it. We must know it in the way Ajay Devgan and Shah Rukh Khan have united to speak the same language, Jubha Kesari. Oh, and I have to give the stage back to the team mode. मैं तो बोल ही गया था. But you don't have to forget the universal language, right? Back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, let's have a huge round of applause. What a beautiful speech. A lot of learning. Great. So with this, everyone allows me to welcome our grammarian of the day. She is a person who loves blogging, who wants to conduct talks, and who wants to avail all the opportunities across the globe. So let's welcome our grammarian, TM Jolie Sharma. I request her to please introduce her word of the day for all of us. TM Jolie Sharma, grammarian, TM Jolie Sharma. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, for giving me this opportunity. Today, the word of the day is inconspicuous. Inconspicuous. The meaning stands that not easily noticed. For example, usage is, I tried to make myself as inconspicuous as possible so that Madam Timur would not ask me the word of the day.
Thank you so much for this wonderful example and reminding us our duties. With this, I am going to introduce a man who has an enthralling personality. I got completely hooked up when I looked him while delivering his speeches. I wish one day I become, and I can also go further in my life. He is a compulsive connoisseur and a sound sleeper who derives an excellence in learning and development. Professional, he always thanks, believes in gratefulness, and gives all the thanks to his family and friends because he feels whatever he is today is all because of them. Yes, he is our DTM Rupinder Singh. So he's having so many goals, and I'm going to tell some of them. He wants to earn a steady income, plus wants to walk 8,000 steps at least in a day. Maybe, I don't know. That's a great thing. So with this, I'm going to introduce his title of the speech along with the level. So his title of the speech is, I know you are tired of this, but words do have power. This is level 2, understanding your communication styles from effective communication path. And timer may notice, or please notice, that the speech is going to be for 7 minutes. With this, I invite on the stage a person who is having a charismatic personality and actually an inspiration to all of us. TM Rupinder Singh, I know you are tired of this, but words do have power. I know you are tired of this, but words do have power. Over to you, DTM Rupinder Singh.
Thomas Alva Edison said, I have not failed. I have found 10,000 ways that this does not work. I know that I'm sounding inspirational right now, but trust me, this is one quote that gets used so many times in Toastmasters that the only thing that surpasses its use is its abuse. Sometimes 10,000 becomes 1,000. Sometimes it won't work, becomes failure. And sometimes the statement becomes so convoluted that I can literally feel Thomas Alva Edison turning over in his grave. Madam Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. Words have power. This is another oft used speech title. I am perhaps yet to see a speaker who's not delivered a speech around words having power. And I totally agree. Even a word delivered in the wrong sense has a certain power. It can get a person on your side, or it can probably blow that person away. I know that you are tired of listening to this, but words do have power. Words need to be communicated in the right manner. Now consider that you've come to professional speakers for the first time. And I, being a responsible vice president of public relations, I'm going to sell professional speakers to you. Your first introduction to professional speakers is going to be like, Welcome to Professional Speakers. This is the place where we develop professional speakers. Our club was founded on the belief of developing professional speakers. We are preparing our professional speakers to be the next TEDx speaker or the next accredited speaker. We are looking for you to develop keynote speeches. We want you to become the next best thing. We want you to actually get paid for professional speaking. And you know what? We are actually looking for avenues where we can give you opportunities to get paid for professional speaking. I am so excited to be a part of this club that I can't tell you its advantages. I could go on and on and on. Unfortunately, today I have only 5 to 7 minutes without letting the other person even respond. I'll go on and on and on. And that, my friends, is the initiating style of communication. Now consider if the second guest was to come in and I was to tell that guest, welcome to Professional Speakers. I am the Vice President, Public Relations, and I will be happy to answer any and all questions that you might have. I will do my best that you feel comfortable around here. And if you have any comments related to our meeting structure or why we do evaluations in a certain manner, or why we are so adamant on attendance, or why we are so adamant on not increasing the members beyond a certain limit, I am here to answer all of those questions. If you want to know why we have 10-minute speeches and 20-minute speeches, I'm here to answer all of your questions. And I will listen to those questions patiently. I will answer all of them for you. And that would make me a supportive communicator. Then comes the next one, a third guest walks in. And I tell the guest, hey, I know you from so long. Why haven't you joined Professional Speakers? You're my friend, come on. What will people say? I can't get my friend to join Professional Speakers? Do you know what kind of an impression that creates on me? Why won't you join Professional Speakers? And this is me being very direct in my style of communication. And last but not least, welcome to a club that has got 13 members, 8 of whom are distinguished Toastmasters, 3 of whom are twice distinguished Toastmasters, and 2 of whom are eligible for becoming a distinguished Toastmaster yet again. This club is also home to 3 district level contest performers. And one of them actually went beyond the district. To this date, he wonders why. What am I doing right here? I'm throwing facts and figures at you. And that is the analytical style of communication. I went through an assessment day before yesterday. What do you think is my style of communication? I'm not asking you the question. I'm answering it for you. It was a rhetorical question. And that ability to answer questions rhetorically will tell you that my predominant style is the initiating style, where I literally do not wait for you to answer my questions. I kind of assume that you've answered the question the way I want it to be answered, and now I am building another question upon that. So that is my primary style of communication, and it gets me in trouble more ways than one, owing to that impulsive nature that is so very much a part of the initiating style of communication. My second trait is when I'm in a good mood, where I can get really, really supportive. That is my second best style of communication. And third, if I am challenged as to why I should join Professional Speaker, you will see the analytical style of me coming. And if you are not coming to meetings regularly, you will see the direct style of communication come out. And trust me, you don't want to see that. But having said that, what was the aim of the speech? Well, aside from telling you that what kind of a communicator I am and how I should communicate with a given person, I also wanted to tell you why professional speakers should be your next club. Hey, I am the Vice President of Public Relations. If I am not going to sell professional speakers, who else is going to sell professional speakers? So join professional speakers, not because you want to be a better speaker, but because you want to be a professional speaker. You want to have a career that pays you for speaking. And by the way, you did join Toastmasters to improve your communication skills, right? Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, awesome. Let's clap for such a wonderful and engrossing speech. So with this, everyone, are we all getting to know that everyone is so dot on time? They are very particular people, and we believe in professionalism. When professionalism meets quality, that is the time, my dear fellow friends, we are going to saw the chat. With this, I request all of you to take 1 minute time and please provide your valuable feedback for both the speakers. And I want timer to please let me know as and when the time is over. Thank you. Perfect. All right. So with this, let me introduce on a stage a person who is a thinking being, who has a lot of questions in her mind. She is inquisitive, curious, lifelong learner. She is right now serving to an NGO, Barefoot College International, and she is empowering and training the rural educators. Yes, she aspires to be a strong storyteller and community enabler. I'm sure you almost got to know now. She is our Nisha Gupta. She has already been part of Toastmaster. Now she has recently joined, and she is going to represent a quite interesting speech before all of us, having a great title. That is, I'm going to tell all of you, along with all level and of course the objective. So the title is, it is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. She is going to represent level 3, and she's from Understanding Conflict Resolution from Persuasive Influence part. Timer again, please may notice that speech is going to be 7 minutes. With this, let's this inquisitive person, or rather I would say a bird, let's welcome her, TM Nisha Gupta. It's not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. It's not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. TM Nisha Gupta, over to you.
Last week, I took an assessment on the Pathways program at Toastmasters International about leadership. It was an assessment to find out what kind of leadership do I have, and various attributes came up. But the most one that came out as a strong one attribute was a democratic leadership, which means that when in a team, when I have people around me and when I have to make decisions which impacts not just me, but the people around, I go ahead and ask everyone. And I think this goes back to what my mother used to always tell me. While she's not a super a mother that always keeps telling something good moral values, but there's one thing that I have always stick by. Suno sabki, karo apne man ki. Listen to everyone, but do what your heart says. Now, in that case, this is important when a decision making is being done. But what happens when there's a conflict situation? How do I react? How do I understand the conflict, and what do I do to resolve this conflict? That's the aim of my project. And today I'm going to talk about how I've come across conflicts and what attributes I show to resolve those conflicts, and what I can do to improve that strategy. Conflicts happen all the time, whether it's professional career, professional teams, between the friends, or among the family members. Conflict is as simple as discussing between friends on, hey, what's the next place we should go to eat? But what I'm going to share over here is a very personal conflict, which is very recent, and as recent as yesterday. Yesterday, I was sitting with my dad and my mom, and we were discussing about very important event that is coming up in our family, which is my brother's wedding. And Indian weddings and Indian big fat weddings require a lot of decisions, where a lot of bookings need to be made. Now, in this situation, my father has certain idea about making the bookings. So he has chosen a venue, and he's come up to us. Hey, we have chosen this venue. What do you think about this one? My mom says that this is very costly and this is very small. We don't want this kind of venue. I say that I don't like this kind of venue. This is very indoors. I want a more natural outdoors venue. Because, hey, I've always been in the natural spaces. So the situation is heating up. And this is not just about the venue, but so many other factors that are playing into this decision making. The conflict arises. And that's when I do what I usually do in my democratic leadership. I listen. And I ensure that everyone is listening to each other, because heated up arguments in Indian family can just leave your family go haywire and leave everything into pieces. At that moment, I ensure that everyone is listening and no one is cross-talking and no one is overpowering themselves. So here is my dad, here is my mom, here am I. And like, I am really moderating it as if I am moderating a Toastmasters or a debate 8 meeting. Another thing that I ensure that everyone is doing is that when we are discussing a conflict, as suppose was making the changes in the venue and just bargaining on what we want more in the venue and the facilities that we're getting, I ensure that my parents and we act as a team. Because the struggle is not between us. The struggle is, hey, what are we getting when we are buying something? That's the struggle. So this is what I tell them. That, hey, let's team up. Let's not be against each other and make a civil war in our house. And let's put down clearly what do we want. So the third important most thing is clearly putting down our points. Just as we do in a professional meeting. Well, of course, sometimes I get this comment from my parents that, hey, don't make this your office location. But I feel that after doing it a couple of times, I've realized that this is how I am able to approach. That this is my attribute for overcoming small conflicts that occur so that they don't become large. And I believe that this kind of strategy, listening, acting as a team, and putting down your points clearly, has helped me in other situations, professional, personal, family. Edmund Hillary said, it is not the mountains that we conquer, because what we want to conquer is ourselves. I feel this quote is very relevant when talking about conflict situations. When you conquer what you want, the mountains are achieved and big tasks are achieved. So remember that it is not the mountains that we conquer, but we conquer ourselves. Thank you, and back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much. Let's have a thunder round of applause. Beautifully delivered by our DM Nisha Gupta. Now with this, I request 1 minute silence for everyone to provide their valuable feedback to Nisha Gupta. And timer, please.
Madam Toastmaster of the day, we are done with 1 minute.
Thank you so much. So we all know we live in this cutthroat competition where we have to work hand in hand with everyone. And how many of us work hard? Well, I feel all of us, but we all know it's important to be smart workers. And when I say smart workers, those are those people who do quality time within that time span and make the most out of it. I am going to tell, which is not new, we all know about it. If you all know the answer, just unmute yourself and let me know. I'm going to talk about smart strategy. S stands for strategic and specific, right? We have to be specific. M stands for measurable. A stands for attainable, and R stands for realistic. And T, can someone talk about, please? Yeah, that's very important. Don't tell me we all belong to this corporate world. It's time bound. We all have long-term and short-term goals. In order to attain that, we all have to make sure that we are following our priorities. Time and tide wait for none, I told you, remember that. And always remember that a person who goes with the time is a person who is a good father, good mother, a good boss, a good everyone. Because when one is able to manage time wisely, one is able to enjoy life amazingly. And someone has stated that time is something what we want the most, but we use the worst. So now it's on all of yours hand how you're going to make the most of it or make the worst of it. Because we all have 24 hours. And remember, we all have to be straight to the point because everyone has same time. But who is going to listen to you? Where they are going to find the quality and the time management, because it's work and life balance. And it's all about managing your time smartly. So with this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call on stage a person who is going to sail this boat further on a new dimension. He is a man who has been already 2 times distinguished Toastmaster, has served or say have 35 years of experience in management and training. He has been associated with private multinational companies plus government organizations. What to say, the list goes on and on. So without further ado, as we are having paucity of time in order to introduce the table topic master, I'm going to call him on the stage, and I want all of you to make the most of it and break a leg. So with this, let's welcome Toastmaster Raj, our table topic master. Table topic master, Toastmaster Raj, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Nisha Gupta. Now we enter into the next section of this meeting, which is table topic section. The objective of this section is to learn the art of speaking extempore. There may be situations in your life when you're required to speak on your foot, and this session will help you become expert in that in handling those situations. I shall be giving you some topics which are around the theme of the meeting, straight to the point, and you should enjoy it while giving the response to the topics. At the same time, learn from the topics from the others, as well as the response you also gave to the topic. I shall calling the guests as well as the members from the audience, and let us see who gets what topic and how they handle the topics. Going away, I shall first be calling a member. Okay, we have Toastmaster Hani Khanduza. Hani, are you ready to take the topic? Hani Khanduza?
I'm the timer for the meeting, so may I request some other member to take it up?
Okay, no problem. May I go for Toastmaster Roli?
Sure, sir.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Roli. Your topic is, do you agree that if we focus on straight to the point, we miss pleasures of path? Do you agree that if we focus on straight to the point, we miss pleasures of path? Rolisina DTM.
I remember this the line from a poem that I used to read when I was a child. What is this life if not if there's no time to stare? It went something like this. I'm forgetting the exact words. And it was all about the leisure time that we have and try to capture it for ourselves while we continue with all of our duties, our responsibilities, our tasks, our goals, our targets. Everything has to be achieved. But is there any time that we are taking out for ourselves so that we can enjoy the journey that we take in order to achieve that goal? I do certainly believe that it is important to luxuriate in the time that we have. The entire life is a journey, and we are all trying to master the goal of becoming a better person every single day. But would I continuously dedicate myself to achieving more, to giving more, to delivering more? Not all of the 24 hours that I have on my disposal. I'd like to enjoy my time. I'd like to just be sometimes instead of, yes, thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. What is this life is full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. It was one of the most beautiful poems. I think that it summarizes everything that you have asked me today. I feel that we must enjoy our life while we do whatever we do, because there is no point in trying to just be in a rush to reach somewhere. I don't think that my driving style or the fact that I consume more than 20 hours of my days at times in work sub subjugates me to a being that is trying to enjoy leisure. But I like those times that I do get some, at times that I read a book or just be myself and do nothing at all. So, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, thank you for multitasking. I hope that you get a chance to look out of your window and stare at things that don't have to count on this meeting all the time. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Oli. Moving on, I would like to invite our guest, Prashant Nelson. Prashant, would you like to take the next topic? Prashant Nelson, would you like to take the next topic? Okay, no problem. We have another guest.
Yeah, sorry, I have some.
Yeah, Prashant, okay.
I have some background noise.
So would you like to take the next topic? Prashant? Okay, moving on, we have another guest, Ghazal. Ghazal? Ghazal, would you like to have the next topic?
You're referring to Dalal Zaki.
Sorry?
His name is Galal Zaki.
Ghazal, yeah.
It is Galal. Galal is me.
Galal, okay. Galal Zaki. Galal, would you like to take the next topic?
Sure, I was trying to stay inconspicuous, but you got me there.
Okay, Galal. Okay, your topic is, what are the steps of communicating straight to the point, according to you? What are the steps of communicating straight to the point? Over to Galal Zaki.
Thank you. That question is related to my whole life in advertising. This tell me quick and tell me true, or else, my friend, the hell with you. If you don't tell people what you want to sell them, whether it's a product or a service or changing behavior in a few seconds, or just the headline, 80% of anybody who reads anything reads the headline only. So there's the WIIFM. It's not a radio channel. It's what's in it for me. So if I say, Rolly, how you can become the greatest accounter in the world, I attracted her, I called her by her name, and told her something that she might want to be. I've been selling things, and sometimes, even though I want to be inconspicuous, I appear as Mr. Spicy in Tikka long time ago, and all the women above 60 are madly in love with me. So I produced 5,000 pencils that read, I actually met Galal Zaki. I got this idea from someone called Raj Marwa, who's a guru advertising man in Australia. He sold a book, and the title of the book was Buy This Book. So I bought it, and that's where I found a lot of very incredible things about advertising. So, and inconspicuous as it may seem, we can get to people the shortest distance between two, not points, two minds is the cliche. A stitch in time saves 9, right? So you can get to people by saying things that are between 2 points, a cliche, what's in it for them, tell me quick and tell me true, or else, my friend, the hell with you. Kiss has nothing to do with kissing. Keep it short and simple. I could go on, but I usually give a full day workshop, which I'll be happy to do. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
That was great, Galal Zaki. That was really great. Moving on, we have a guest, Toastmaster Jim. Jim, would you like to take the next topic?
Sure.
Okay, Jim, thank you. Your topic is, tell us an incident when someone had to interrupt you and say, come straight to the point. Toastmaster Jim, tell us an incident when someone had to interrupt you and say, come straight to the point. Over to you, Toastmaster Jim.
Don't you just love it when people make the best use of your time? I had a message on my phone. Call me when you're free. Well, I'm free right now. I'll call her right now. Hi, it's me. Yeah, you just sent me a message saying call me when you're free. Oh, yeah. Are you at home? No. Are you out? Well, if I'm not at home, oh, yeah. Have you had breakfast? This person should definitely join Toastmaster. Get straight to the point. How many minutes have people stolen from you by exactly that sort of exchange? Think of all the times, if you got them all together, what you could do with that time. You could connect with people you love. You could be pursuing your vocation, for example, being a professional speaker. You could do so much. What you have to do is to prevent these people from wasting your time. So I told that person, get straight to the point. Now, this person got upset at me. Is the timer going? I don't see the timer. It must be more than a minute. Okay, there we go, the timer. So this person got upset at me, and you'll be surprised at how many people will be upset when you point out they're not being on time. They're not being respectful of people's time and getting straight to the point. I have a saying in my own personal life, be on purpose. You see the number of people, even adults, playing video games on their phone. Be on purpose. We're only here for a little while. Be on purpose. Back to you, Raj.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jim. That was great. Moving on, we have now Nelson. Nelson, are you there? Prashant Nelson, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, but my son is making some noise. That's why. So here, my son is making noise, so you can give the chance to answer.
A hilarious or heinous outcome. Over to Prashant Nelson. Okay, I'll move further. Now we can take some members of the group of the club. Jolie, would you like to take the topic?
Yeah, Raj.
Okay, thank you, Jolie. Okay, I'll repeat the same topic. Tell us an incident when communicating straight to the point resulted in a hilarious or heinous outcome. Tell us an incident when communicating straight to the point resulted in a hilarious or heinous outcome. Over to you, Toastmaster Jolie. Toastmaster Jolie?
Yeah, let me just give me a few seconds.
Sure.
By nature, by nature, I am a very straightforward person. And at times, I land into situations where it is difficult for me as well as for the person also in front. So let me take you through one of the incidents wherein I was at my home relaxing. And my husband, he, in the COVID times, he has grown his beard. And I think like most of you, right, who avoids doing shaving, right? He also avoided shaving off because he doesn't have to go to office or he doesn't have to even turn on his camera. Recently, it happened that he has to face an interview. When I saw him, that the next day he was preparing actually for the interview. And as I stepped into the room and I saw a different face of him, a totally cleaned off face. And it was a horrible sight for me because for 1.5 years, I have been used to seeing him with that beard, with that long beard. I was surprised. I asked my kids, where is your father? He's like, he was smiling all the way. And I was actually surprised because I was in a situation that, is he the same person? Am I with the wrong person in the room? So that was one of the recent situation that I would say that at times, if it would have happened with a stranger, it puts you in such kind of situations wherein probably you are also not aware what you are going to say. Over to you. I think, Raj, that was the best thing that I could have recalled now.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jolie. It was really hilarious story that you told us. And sometimes it may happen with me also, I suppose. Okay, moving on. We have some more Toastmasters who are yet to speak. Could I request Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar? Sandeep, would you like to take the next topic?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Sandeep. Okay, Sandeep, your topic is, what are the reasons of not being straight to the point?
Thanks, Raj sir.
You are the reason to the point. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Yeah, I got the topic. Thank you. Yeah, there are various reasons. The first one, let me share the incident, and it generally happens with the couples, especially with the men. If they want to ask their wife to cook special dish, they don't tell, straightforwardly. Like they always rotate. Today, I'm feeling very hungry. Darling, if you could make me this dish, I would be more happy. And I think Raj sir knows very well that sometimes wife asks, what do you want to say exactly? And then we men always reply, would you please prepare this dish for me? Now, this is the thing, from this thing, we can easily relate. There are various reasons. The first one is the mood, the situation. We have to see ourselves in the other person's shoes, how they are feeling. So this is the one thing that restricts the communicating straight to the point. Second one is the confidence. If we are lacking in the confidence for communication, we won't reach at the point. The third point is the knowledge about that information or that situation that restricts us about coming or sharing someone directly to the point. From my side, these are three various reasons which restricts the person communicating straight to the point. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandeep. Those points were really valid and straightforward. Moving on, I would again like to request Prashant Nelson if you are available for the next topic. Prashant, are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
Okay, Prashant, thank you. Your topic is, tell us about a time when you did not even shoot, but it went straight to the point. Prashant, tell
Sorry,
us.
can you repeat?
Yeah, tell us about a point, about a time when you did not shoot, but it went straight to the point. You got the topic?
Yeah.
Thank you, Prashant. Over to you.
Yeah, most of the time, when someone asks a question and if we don't understand it, or if the question is not something which is not related to us, so I wanted to not to be to the point, so I usually beat around the bush, because it usually happens in table topics in our club also. Sometimes people select monotonous topics, like especially in team meetings. So if I don't have any experience on that topic, or if I don't like that topic, I have to speak somehow. So I just manage to speak, and sometimes I may not give the points. So back to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Prashant Nelson. We have another guest, Toastmaster Diana. Diana, would you like to take a topic? Toastmaster Diana. Toastmaster Diana, would you like to take the next topic?
Yes, she's nodding her yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Diana. Diana, topic for you is getting straight to the point is being a straight shooter. Do you agree? Getting straight to the point is being a straight shooter. Do you agree, Toastmaster Diana? Toastmaster Diana? Toastmaster Diana, would you like to take this topic? I think
she's typing it in the text box.
okay. Toastmaster Diana, I repeat the topic. Getting straight to the point is shooting straight. Do you agree?
Yes. Yes.
Honey, do we have some time?
That's it. I think we can the next section. Okay, so the table topic speaker has written something in the chat. If you would like to mention it. And yes, I think we should move to the next section after the speaker.
Okay. Thank you. So Diana says that found in the computer program memory chips point agree. So she has agreed to the point and she has thanked me, the table topic master. Thank you, Diana. And with this, I would like to hand over the stage back to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Seema Gupta. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Let's give him a huge round of applause. Beautiful. So with this, I'm going to conclude my theme by saying that are you straight to the point? If not, then ask to yourself. If not you, then who? If not now, then when? With this, I'm going to hand over the stage and say bye to all of you from the TMAT role and invite on the stage, so sweet, invite on the stage a person who is going to give us the importance of feedback. We all know feedback is the breakfast of champion. And here, champion is the one who is a lifelong race runner, who believes in improving himself all the time. So this section is going to be introduced and there will be a litmus test by a person who is called by people, the friend for everyone. He is a sales professional having 10 years of experience, currently working as an area manager and associated with Toastmaster for approximately 4 years. So without further ado, let's welcome on the stage the General Evaluator, TM Sandeep, General Evaluator. Over to you and thank you everyone so very much.
First of all, let's give Seema a good round of applause for a debutant TMO role. and she conducted wonderfully. We should applause to all our role players who have been in meetings so far and played their roles so effectively. Yes, indeed, feedback is the breakfast of the champions. And right now, it is time to receive the feedbacks by our speakers, by role players, and ourselves also. Without much ado, let me call our first prepared speaker, dismissed Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur. We spoke on topic, a universal language. Mukesh Thakur, stage is yours.
Thank you very much, everyone. Let me start my feedback from Hani Khanduja. Are you there? Of course, you will be there. You are the timer.
Yes, sir. I'm very much here. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So, first thing first, the humor, the sprinkled one, especially to begin with, Zuba Kesari. That was really amazing. And the tint of that Hindi phrases that he had given probably were the highlights of the speech, I would say. The speech was going in the good flow, and one recommendation that I have around these phrases is that probably, because we are looking at a global audience, you could have translated it a bit, but because I'm not very sure how well it has been received by the people who do not understand Hindi at all and who would not have the context for these advertisements. So I also see the advertisements very rarely, but I could get the context because these are the advertisements running prominently on the news channel, so I could get a grasp of it. But yes, one recommendation that yes, you should give a bit of the context and translate it for the global audience that we are looking. Recommendation that I one other recommendation that I have is around the it just came and I wasn't prepared for it. Maybe I was too much into it and I was expecting some more series of element to come in. Probably you can look at the conclusion element and work on it a bit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I hear from Roli Sinha?
Sure, sir. I agree with Honey's points. In addition, I really liked the variation in pace that you had at several points in your speech. I think that the structure needs a little attention. You went to the example, like an incident, a narrative that you had around the advertisement, then you came to the concept that you were trying to highlight, went back to the example, then you came back to the concept, and then you looped it close with the example. So just, it wasn't very fluidly transitioned. So maybe that part can be attended to. Thank you.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. You are mute, Rupinder Singh.
Okay, I don't know. I was away from the keyboard, but I don't know if somebody's already given this to you or not. You used Hindi language, and we had people who could not understand Hindi. You did not translate some of that. Zuba Kesari, for example, which by the way means saffron tar.
Thank you. Jim, were you there at the time of my speech? No. Sandeep?
Sorry.
No problem. Sandeep?
Mukesh, I really enjoyed the speech starting from the beginning, as Hani said. And really like the touch points, the special highlight point, which I also wrote out. We don't choose birthplace. So we got influenced by the environment around, and the human beings have major contribution to ecosystem that realize our responsibility. Instead of giving the examples, if you could inculcate your own story, that could make the speech more effective. So that is my feedback. Over to you, Mukesh.
Thank you very much, Sandeep. That was valuable. Seema.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed. Complete was laughter, and laughter is the best medicine. I enjoyed it. I had fun. Thank you. Nothing else.
Thank you very much. And I guess it's the last time. Jolly.
Mukesh, my points are covered.
Thank you very much. And time is also up. Thank you. And back to Sandeep.
Thank you, Mukesh. Now I would like to call our second prepared speaker, who is distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. He spoke on topic, I know you are tired of this, but words do have power. Rupinder Singh, over to you.
Thank you very much. I will pick and choose my evaluators. First, I'd like to get evaluated by a guest, and I will ask Saki to get started. One commendation, one recommendation, and a conclusion.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you asked to evaluate.
Oh, okay, that's okay. But that's okay. You've come to the club for the first time. I can totally understand.
Thank you. You had a shift between two ways of doing things, and I like that. You spoke in a certain way, and then you spoke in another way, and it was very, very impressive. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim, long time you've heard me speak. Now you get your chance to comment.
Yeah, I like the inconspicuous pink turban and matching tie. I thought that was very anti-word of the day. For the speech, I like the way that you gave the three characters, but it was a very British type of humor, very subdued. And you really have to hear the English to notice the difference. I think with storytelling, it would be good to have ups and downs. So because we play with people's chemicals, we have the cortisol and the endorphins, you know, we're happy, we're sad, or you're being, you had that sarcastic part where, you know, if you don't come off into the meeting, I will speak to you directly, you know, that sort of thing. I think if there was a bigger contrast in the way you deliver it, a bigger high and a lower low, that would make it very easy to follow, and it would also give us a ride of variety. But it was very clever to tell the story and introduce the different types of character.
Thank you. Now, someone who could do with a smile, Nisha Gupta.
Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. You talked about words and you had so much realism to your speech, which really connect me to your speech. And sarcasm, as Jim mentioned, was very aptly put in. You also had a call to action, which I felt like you're really picking up points from the happenings at the club and whatever you observe. So that's something I really liked. I don't have any recommendations.
Okay, another one who could do with a smile, Hani Khanduja.
Okay, so I'll quickly do one commendation for sure that I love the way you had given three particular examples with dialogue, with context, and I think that was the real meat of the speech, I would say, because that is what added a lot more value in terms of my understanding for what you had the message. The message came very beautifully towards the end, but the way you had put the three things, absolute delight. Thank you.
Thank you. And now one of the three people I fear in Toastmasters, Roli Sinha.
Fear no more. I loved it simply because you had a strain through your speech. It was not like the title that shone on its own. It was so wonderfully substantiated with the examples and everything. So it was like a strain. It was like a color which has a hue throughout the speech. I loved that part of it. Really made it come together. I think that at points you could reduce the number of times you use certain words. The phrases are getting repetitive. Maybe some of it was impromptu, but you could just bring in a little more variety in those words.
Thank you. Time is a constraint, so I'll just answer Rolly's question. When I used professional speaking again and again and again, that's a trait of an initiating style of speaker, because they keep on saying the same thing over and over. They're garrulous, so to speak, or gregarious. I've given you enough words of the day. I'll give it back to the general evaluator.
Rupinder.
Not at all inconspicuous.
Now, please join me in welcoming our third speaker, Toastmaster Nisha Gupta, who spoke on topic, "It is not mountain we conquer, but ourselves." Over to you, Anisha.
Before taking on feedback from everyone, maybe one recommendation and one commendation, I just want to say that this speech was a bit of last minute preparation, and I would rather it was not in scope because that it was underprepared. But I would still like to have some feedback on what part of this content would you like to hear more and what part did not connect to you, and any other point that you would want to say. So starting with guest Galal, Zaki, if you were able to hear my speech.
Again, I didn't know that I was going to be asked to evaluate, but I just remember something about your parents, and it was so down to earth, and you were being yourself. But I didn't know that I was going to be asked to do that. So that's my take. Thank you.
Thank you. Whatever the listener remembers is the best feedback. Thank you on that. Toastmaster Jim.
You were, my experience of your speech was very professional. Like I'm listening to a school teacher, something that has to be taught, and I'm going to tell you this, and this is what you're going to get. I didn't really feel a connection, a personal connection. It was like something you had to do, and do it. Yeah, the voice was very good, very strong, and your framing is good, everything. It's just that connection I think you could work on.
Thank you for that. Distinguished Toastmaster Hani Khanduja.
What I would like to hear more in your speech would be certain dialogue, certain interaction, certain specific element, because you're talking about one interesting element of the Indian family, that's the wedding. So probably you could bring in some drama, some conflict of opinion with your mother and father, because you're like a moderator, you have to balance. And so that is one thing that I would like to hear more in terms of this context. But what I really loved, and would a commendation be that even if you're saying that it's a last moment profession, it was beautifully put together and relate and like contextualized to something that you had thought of initially and concluded with a message. So that was a good job. Thanks.
Thank you. Distinguished Toastmaster Roli Sana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anisha. I know that it was a last minute preparation. I am the person who landed you into that almost hopeless position, but you came out of it so gracefully. I really liked the structure that you had put together for your speech. I think that the preparation time challenged you a little bit, and therefore the crispness of the words was missing. The dialogues, I agree with distinguished Toastmaster Hani, would have added a lot of value. In fact, you could choose certain positions on your stage to depict your father. Like you actually said, this was my father, this was my mother, and this was me, the moderator. So just put them there, right? Then you don't have to say it. and then you're inviting us into the scene, and we are now living the scene with you. Also, the diagram was good, but the challenge with such kind of props is that you need time to explain those props and that diagram properly. Like, I understood how I am like at position A, and how the mountain is like the peak is of A, and I need to be there. I understood a little bit, but I didn't understand how to get there. Like, how I'm actually conquering that mountain, which is ourselves. So just some suggestions, but very, very nicely done for a last minute presentation. Thank you so much for saving us.
Thank you. Thank you. Next time, I would like to hear you hear your point, keeping up at the fact that it was last minute. And with that, I would like to hear from distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, without considering that it was a last minute preparation.
Same feedback as I had for Mukesh. There was use of Hindi, and again there was for an audience. You did translate, but let's try to make it as international as possible, considering that we will have international audiences.
Thank you. And we move ahead and go back to the General Evaluator, Sandeep Kumar.
Nisha, and thank you all the speakers who provided the feedback to the respective speakers. Now it is time to table topic evaluation for all the speakers who spoke on table topic section. The first speaker was Toastmaster Roli Sinha, who spoke on, do you agree that if we focus on straight to the point, we miss pleasure and path? I really like the fact the speaker has mentioned that journey do matter. And I hope everyone agrees to that. And I don't have any recommendation as of now for the speaker, and I will like to say just keep the spirit on as same as today. The second speaker was Galal Zaki, who spoke on topic, what are steps of communicating straight to the point? And the speaker highlighted about two major facts around the words he spoke. First one is, what's it for me? And second one is KISS, that is keep it simple and short. And we do agree that when communicating straight to the point, we always think about what are the things around the topic, and we should directly come to the point rather than revolving the person around. I would recommend a speaker could have the little bit loud voice, that could be better. Next speaker was Toastmaster Zim, and his topic was, tell us an incident where someone had interrupted you and said, come to the point. The speaker played a very wonderful drama, having the two conversation between two speakers, and I really like the examples cited by the speaker. My recommendation to the speaker is, if we have the two different characters play around, I appreciate that you have the different faces and the positions around, but if you could have the vocal variety between the two characters, that could make the speech more effective. Next speaker was Toastmaster Jolie, and her topic was, tell us incidents where communicating straight to the point resulted in hilarious movement. And she cited her own example, having her husband a beard, and what are the son and the conversation between her and the husband. My recommendation to the speaker is, if she could have the control on pace and coming to the point directly rather than having this example cited, what are the points she want to communicate to the audience, that would be better. The next speaker was me, and the topic was given to me, reasons for not communicating straight to the point. I will leave it to one of the speaker for my evaluation, that is to Roli Sinha. She can give me my evaluation after the meeting. Next speaker was Nelson, and sorry Nelson, I missed your speech because of the network issues. Last speaker was Toastmaster Diana, and her topic was getting straight to the point is shooting straight. And I think she had facing some vocal challenges, and she typing on the chat box, and she agreed with the point that yes, getting straight to the point is actually shooting straight to the people. That is from my side on the table topic evaluation. Now coming to the supplementary role players, I would like to begin with Grammarian of the day, and I would like to invite Joli Sharma on the stage. Joli, are you there?
Yeah, I am there. Yeah. So I need to share the Grammarian report, correct? Right, hold on. Let me share my screen.
Darling.
So is my screen visible? Hello?
It is loading. Just wait for, yes, now it's visible.
Okay. So the word of the day was inconspicuous. I think few of the Toastmasters have used it, so kudos to them. And the meaning was not easily noticed. The way it can be used that I had already shared. So coming to my Grammarian report, I would like to say that today most of the speakers were very much correct while using the language and the sentences correctly. So, but I have just made few observations on how we can, do it better. And few of them were erroneous situations also, while the speakers were just calling out few of the sentences. For example, going to tell along with all level and title. So I think that can be avoided, this word or the sentence along with all level. In fact, it could have been cited as the level and title directly. Then I go ahead and ask everyone. Instead, you could have said, the speaker could have called it out, I ask everyone. Conflict is as simple as, so there were situations when I observed that today most of the speakers, the way we speak in our mother tongue, right, the Hindi, so we happen to translate the same sentences into the English and then speak it. So probably that can be avoided. Instead, we should try to speak in English. And this sentence, for example, conflict is as natural as we can, that would have been better. And then once of the speaker said, those are those people. So instead, the speaker could have called it out for those people. Inculcate your own story. Inculcate has different meaning altogether. I think the speaker wanted to say that include your own story or anecdote. Then there was certain good usage of the language also. For example, the words like charismatic, convoluted, flamboyant, realism, sarcasm, substantiated, strain were also being used by the speakers. Now to improve on this grammatical aspects of the language and to avoid any kind of conversion from any one language to other, we can think of reading or listening to more podcasts, writing more frequently, and proofreading our written scripts also. That will help us as a speakers or users of the language correctly. So over to you, General Evaluator. That was all from my side as a grammarian of the day.
Thank you, Jolie, for a detailed report. Now, I would like to call our counter, distinguished Toastmaster Rolly Sinha, on the stage for presenting her report.
Thank you so much. And here's my report. It has a lot of greens. I'm very happy that everyone is trying their best to not use filler words, especially the filler sounds in today's meeting were very less. There are certain things that we can do to improve the areas where we are repeating our phrases, is to just probably speak a little slowly, and then it will automatically come in. For example, we're saying general evaluator or evaluation frame. So we obviously know what is the right thing to say there, but we didn't take the time to frame the sentence correctly. I really liked that some of the ways in which the so-called filler words can be used correctly were also were also done during the meeting. And Toastmaster Seema, for example, said, "Well, I have been a flamboyant person." Usually we say "well" is a filler word. And you know what? So it had "and," it had "you know." It would have easily fallen into the so-called filler words list, but it didn't, because the sentence was so appropriate in that situation. Now, I'd also like to compliment some people like Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar. I don't know how he manages to do it, but he is pretty much flawless in his counts. And the only time that he ended up using the counts were during his G role. He had a tendency to say "and" too many times, and he also ended the word "and" with "a," which was like the extension of the sound. I also want to congratulate Toastmaster Jim and Toastmaster Jolly, Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. Several times they took the stage and always ended up with impressing me and making me go, wow. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thanks, Rolly, for such a comprehensive report. Now I would like to call our last supplementary role player, District Toastmaster Hani Khanduja, for presenting timers report.
Okay, so here I go. I will share my screen. So okay, so I understand why all the speakers and every role player was well on time, and it was a good perspective. It was a good meeting for a timer as a role player. But I had my own challenges because of the internet issues, and there was a lag in switching on the video and going on to the virtual frame. The speakers were all on time. For Rupinder, I would quickly like to check if he was using a timer on his own, because I recorded it at 7 minutes 31 seconds. That's 1 second time over the limit. And for all the table topic speakers, it was within the time limit, apart from the fact that for speaker Diana, I could not record it because she was typing. So it was 2 minutes 36 seconds. Sandeep, so far as a general evaluator, has taken 4 minutes 3 seconds. And I have taken so far 1 minute 11 seconds. This is not the meeting end time. I'm still recording the meeting end time. So from a timer perspective, yes, the meeting is well on time. The only challenge that I was facing was from the network perspective, and the agenda having the perspective of the professional speech and then a little bit of the ordering. I could have prepared myself a little better on that part, because I wasn't aware that there is no professional speech. We have third speaker, and then we have the table topic section, which can be elongated a bit. So my apologies on that part, but I hope I did justice in helping you timing your respective speeches. That's all from my side, ending at 1 minute 56 seconds. Over to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Sandeep.
Thank you, this is Toastmaster Hani Khanduja, and let us applaud ourselves for being on time. Now here is my report. Toastmaster today, could you please confirm my screen is visible?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Our meeting start on time as always, and the club mission was stated properly. The president was properly introduced, and I think we missed a guest introduction today. No doubt that Nisha had played presiding officer as a deputy presiding officer today, and I would request her to take care of this point next time. Business segment was conducting wonderfully. President introduces Toastmaster Day in a very nice manner. I would like to congratulate Seema Gupta for presenting the theme, which is all around time management, and we do agree with the smart technique which she has presented. My recommendation to Toastmaster today, she could be more prepared, then could help us to take the message more effectively. Then other feedback for the Toastmaster day is we missed the role play introduction in the beginning of meeting. Although the Toastmaster day gave the introduction of Grammarian only on the later stage, but Toastmaster day, please note this point for the next time. Now, other point for while introducing speaker is no doubt the Toastmaster day had shared the speech level, pathways level, but objectives are missing. So it gave generally the points to be taken care of while giving the evaluation to the audience. So please cited the objectives of each speech as mentioned in the pathways level for respective speeches. We missed the silence for feedback for first speaker, although the Toastmaster day took care of for the rest of the speakers. Table topics section was conducted very wonderfully, and the only feedback which I can give to the table topic master is please try to keep the topic short. Although the topics were simple, but try to articulate the sentences in a very short manner. Rest feedback for the general evaluation by during the commencement of this respective segment is the general evaluator forget about the brief introduction about the general evaluation, how the evaluation of taking place. Some guests have already given the feedback about this. Rest timers, counter and gamut. I really like the reports presented by all the role players. That is from my side. And so far I have taken around 3 minutes and 14 seconds. And that is over to you, presiding officer. That is from my side.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandeep, for that general evaluator's report. And I love the fact that throughout this meeting, we have had almost 100% video camera on. So for showing all those faces, can we give a huge round of applause to all the role players, speakers, as supplementary evaluators, and all the members and guests who have come today. Thank you everyone for coming here. I know you're tired of listening to this, but words do have power. And words are not the only universal language. Well, time and tide waits for none. But what is there for me? WTI FM is something that you have to ask yourself. Don't let your time be stolen from others, because you have to give your time to your loved ones. And what is this life full of care if we don't have time to stop and stare? Because if not now, then when? Because we have to be like a shooting, we have to shoot straight to the point. Because if we want all of our speaking journey to be professional and we want eloquence to meet impact, we have to hit straight to the point. Thank you all for being here. It was a pleasure. Now I want to move ahead with taking some feedback from the guests and the members. So starting with the guests, Toastmaster Diana, would you like to come off mute or share in the chat box? Toastmaster Diana, I think your energy is really telling us how you enjoyed. Thank you for that lovely smile and always having your camera on and sharing us on the chat box how you're feeling. Great. Toastmaster Jim, how did you feel about the meeting and any recommendations that you have?
Great meeting as usual. I know why the club is called Professional Speakers. All the speakers were so professional. And it's just, it would be so much better if you had a really big audience, because the level is such that I think a lot of people will be able to pick up a lot of points from the speakers and the evaluations that I heard tonight. I like the theme. It's something that speaks to my heart, because I'm always one of those, you know, be on purpose, and cut all the other stuff off. And so, yeah, it was great. It's good to see people with the video on and participating in the evaluations. Over to you, Anisha.
Your wise words have always helped us, and whether it's the table topic or it's just the feedback, would like to hear, have some speech from you maybe sometime, because yesterday I posted on the guest group as well, if you're there, that week 4 of the month is when we are inviting guests to deliver a speech. So let me know if offline if you want to have that. And Toastmaster Galal Zaki, I think I'm meeting you for the first time, but I think you're a man of quotes. So please enlighten us with more quotes and tell us how you felt about the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Just a couple of things. I've been attending a lot of Toastmasters, and I didn't know that I was going to be asked as a guest to evaluate the speakers. Otherwise, so if you can give us a hint at the beginning so that we can concentrate, because I got lost in many of the cases. The other thing is I noticed you don't have awards for best speaker, best table topic, and I was hoping that this would be my 28th award in 16 months, but Jim got me to be inconspicuous, especially that he comes all the way from Australia, and I sang at the Sydney Opera House. Thank you.
So very valuable feedback, Toastmaster Kalal. We about the feedback that is being taken from the guest. Well, we have a roundtable evaluation system where we would like the guest to give 1 point of recommendation, but I'm sure that we have to emphasize on that in our general evaluation section. And about the awards, I think that at Professional Speakers, we are here on a professional speaking journey, and everyone has some kind of goal. So I think just the feedback is kind of award to all of us. But I think our CC members would be able to answer better. Well, moving ahead, we don't have any other guest. Anyone from the members who would like to share anything about the meeting, and I'll give 2 people a chance in 1 minute. Okay, and if none, then we can take it offline after the meeting. So thank you for all the people who have joined us, and all the people who would be watching this live streaming on YouTube. So we can close down with the live streaming. But before that, I'm sorry, I'm missing something. 2 important things. One, next week we are experimenting with a theme where we will not have the table topics, but we will have an opinion forum at our club with perhaps 2 speeches and a power talk speech. So everyone, a reminder for you and an invitation for you to come to us. Power talk speech is something where a guest a Toastmaster who is not part of the club will be coming and delivering a speech 10 to 12 minutes on the importance of communication, any aspect of communication and speaking. And then we will have an opinion forum as well. And for that to happen, when does our meeting start? Our meeting starts?
No.
Can everyone come? That's yes, because that's something that I think is coming down from our presidents and presiding officers, and that's a quote that I have stolen, I think, from distinguished Toastmaster Raj and distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh, but I still wanted to continue the legacy. So thank you, everyone, and members can take back for feedback.
Toastmaster